Yeah, this is the most cringe-worthy movie ever. Yeah. Welcome back to the final
Right.
credits, where today we are going to be talking about Coneheads.
Coneheads.
On another installment of This Is 30.
Welcome back to This Is 30, and today we are talking about Coneheads.
Coneheads.
I don't have enough adjectives to shit on this movie. I
Wow.
don't. Yeah. I didn't like it then. I certainly do not like it now. And I do not understand how people find it hysterical. I don't know. Take it
Here's the
away.
thing.
Somebody does.
Here's the thing. I don't think people remember this movie. Like this movie is technically a classic, but people don't remember it for its comedy. I feel like the image of the Conehead, like the design of the characters, are just iconic enough where people just remember the Coneheads themselves and not
Well,
anything that happened in the movie or any lines from the movie or anything that was said in it, or what happened.
yes and no, because the Coneheads have been around since the 70s. Dan Aykroyd, they came up with those characters back on SNL. You know,
Mm.
it was literally a skit brought onto the big screen. That's all it was. Similar. It was actually the third movie to ever be an SNL skit first, and then become a movie. The first one was Blues Brothers. The second one was Wayne's World, and third one is Coneheads. And the
Interesting.
first two, Blues Brothers and Wayne's World, great. Coneheads, oof, such a tough
Everything.
watch.
Not everything's gonna be Wayne's World. All these are obviously spin-offs of classic SNL skits, but certain things remain skits on SNL for a reason. Uh, I mean,
Coneheads should have stayed there.
if they were going to put out this movie, they should have put it out in the late 70s, early 80s when Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin originally did the characters on the show. Uh, but yeah, it was definitely trying to take advantage of classic SNL skits. You really have to be a real hardcore. I mean, I consider myself an SNL fan, but you have to be a real hardcore cult following of classic SNL things to enjoy this. There definitely a lot of cringe, a lot of laughs, not a lot, some laughs. It's definitely making fun of immigration in this country, especially for that time. So I could see where they were going, but they should have just left it alone as the skit
So,
that it was when Dan Aykroyd and
so
Jane Curtin were on
essentially,
SNL.
essentially, what I wasn't made aware of until just now is that it was a thing on SNL, which now explains why every person who was on SNL around that time of this
Yep.
movie was in this movie. Because
Yep.
you
It
look
was a
left and
stacked.
right, I
It
know
was a
that guy.
stacked
I know
cast.
that guy. It was okay. I
It
also
was
feel like all these cameos essentially were all misplaced too. You have Adam Sandler playing a guy who's gonna hook up like Dan Aykroyd with a false ID for 12 different people. You
the
have
same.
Chris fucking Farley as the boyfriend who has no funny lines. Like, how do you do? Honestly, the only one that made sense was David Spade as the kiss ass assistant.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else, I was just like, this is not good. And also, I said this to Johnny earlier. I'm sorry. Jason Alexander with hair is frightening to me. I
Toupee or not.
oh my god.
But that was the
I
joke,
can't.
though. That was like I could understand the joke because even when they were doing something, his hair was trying to
That
go
was
all
me.
over the place.
I didn't recognize him. That's the thing. I was watching it on Amazon, and sometimes they show the actors like on the side and everything. I'm like, Jason Alexander, where is he in this pic? Oh my god, he's the
That's
guy
him.
with hair.
They were definitely trying to take advantage of the Seinfeld popularity at the time. They gave a cameo
Yeah.
to Kramer in the
Yeah.
beginning at the
Oh,
hotel,
yeah.
like Richard.
Oh
He was
god.
basically Kramer in that role. So not just SNL cast members up to that point. You had
No, it was.
Sinbad.
Yeah,
You had
Sinbad too. He wasn't in SNL, but look, guys, the cast was stacked in this movie, and there were so many damn names in here that we could go on for 45 minutes to tell you everybody who was in this movie. But
But that's my issue with this. It was miscast because you have
oh yeah,
all these genuinely funny people, probably at the height of their being funny, in these non-funny roles,
yep,
which I thought was
It was just a
terrible.
boring, disjointed script. I feel like in the beginning it made sense. Like, okay, like it's an alien family. They're trying to fit in, but they have like these plans to kind of take over the world and all that stuff. But like as it got to that point, like towards the end of the movie, I was just like, once like their homeland, like or their fellow aliens, like wherever they were going to meet up with like the whole community, that's where I was really starting to lose the movie, because then it just became like, what's going on? Where is this movie going next? Like, how did we get here? And I feel like it just became really confusing the closer we got towards like the climax and the end of the movie.
it got very crowded.
Yeah.
to-
Yes.
yeah.
That's a good word
towards the
to
end.
use.
Uh,
Yeah.
Another cameo amongst the Coneheads when they're united with their people. Phil Hartman's in there, with a very small role, but
Yep.
there's no missing him. Another late great comedian that was
Yeah.
legendary
Rest in peace.
in SNL. Rest in peace, SNL in the '90s. But yeah, it just got very a big cluster. I get what they were trying to do at the ending, and they just want to go back to Earth because also, yeah, it's just a movie. It's supposed to be funny. No one, they just in the beginning, people just treated them like regular people that didn't give away that they were aliens.
That was what the comedy was supposed to be. I feel like, oh, like look at this
Right?
ridiculous situation that people are just like treating as normal, and you're supposed to laugh at that. And like in a lot of cases, like I feel like whenever movies or TV shows try to do that, it 9 times out of 10 that doesn't really work. At least not with me. So like, and I feel like that's where all the comedy was trying to stem itself from, and that's why the rest of the dialogue, like you said, Chris Farley, probably his most boring role ever. Like,
Yeah.
because he had no jokes, there was no dialogue. It was all about, look at these ridiculous looking conehead people
Right.
in this normal setting, and you're supposed to laugh. I'm not laughing.
It was
So-
weird that he was like in a like the straight guy, the semi serious. We're not doing the legendary Chris Farley funny stuff we've come to know.
Right.
He didn't crash through anything. He didn't fall down once. Like nothing. Yeah,
I think the funniest
his
thing
usual
that he
shticks didn't
did,
happen.
the funniest thing he did in this movie was where the powder blue talks at the end. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, maybe.
Look, I feel
Uh,
like this movie should have been a sitcom. If it was a sitcom, it would do so much better. It would make more sense.
So I'm glad you said that, because I had the same thought, but then I realized, oh shit, Third Rock from the Sun is basically a
Yep,
much
yep.
better version of this movie, and we had
Yes.
Jane Curtin as the wife. So it's basically the same thing, but
Same
better,
thing.
much better done.
Yeah.
But,
He's right.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
I never put two and two together. That makes sense. Total sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but see how well it was done though. So
Because John
I'm
Lithgow is
kind
a
of right.
freaking legend.
That's also true.
But
Oh yeah, he
so,
was in.
look,
John Lovitz was in there too.
yeah. I feel like it had such a good premise or
yes,
great idea. The execution was terrible. Terrible.
It was bad.
Like its budget was $30 million and it only made 21.3 at the box office.
Oh
And
my
God.
every
Woo!
single critic said, like anything they could say negative, they said it, and they're absolutely right.
So the
Yeah.
movie crashed. The movie crashed faster at the box office than their ship at the end of the movie. pretty much.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the
Perfect
ship didn't
analogy.
crash in the end of the movie. It
Yeah,
more like
it was pretty
exploded. But yes, yeah. It,
Can we just,
like,
can we just talk about for a moment the terrible CGI on the monster that
well, but
Dan
listen,
Aykroyd's-
you have to understand this was 1993, and this was a little after Jurassic Park, where Jurassic Park spoiled everybody.
You know
Yeah.
what though, Spade? In a couple of weeks, I'm gonna fight you on that because while granted, this movie probably did have a much bigger budget, there is a movie out there right around this year that did standalone claymation,
Yeah.
essentially set the standard of it to this day. I won't talk about the movie, and none of you should, but please look forward to that movie soon.
Okay.
But yeah, no, honestly, like I'm so glad that you guys like said all this because I had to take breaks watching this movie. I had to like pause the movie for like 5 or 10 minutes, walk around and say, "Am I the problem? Like, is this
That's
just
what I
freaky
thought.
as hell for
I
me?
thought the
or
same
is it-
thing.
no,
Oh my god!
no, Graham, you're fine.
Thank you.
I kept looking at
Oh.
my phone. Like I kept getting distracted over and over again. I was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
is my attention span just like dying now in the age of social media and phones, or is this movie really like not grabbing me at all? And it was the second one. It absolutely was the second one.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't age well in 30 years. Not at all.
No,
It-
yeah.
Forget about aging. It didn't do good back then. Forget about
I-
now.
Yeah. It didn't age well in its first week in theaters.
Ooh, ooh.
It aged badly by the end of the seventh day.
Man, I just you know what it is when I told everyone like, hey, we're doing Coneheads, everybody was like, oh, okay, cool. In my head, I was like, I didn't like it when I was a kid. Maybe I'll have a different
This is the
opinion
first
as
time
an
I saw
adult.
it.
Is it safe to
Nope.
say you guys? Is it safe to say you guys like the Super Mario movie more than this?
Oh, Super Mario should have won an Oscar compared to this movie.
Pancakes, I really dislike the fact that you're making me say yes to that. But yes, the original Super Mario live action movie was indeed much better and funnier than Coneheads was. I'm
And the
going to hell for
CGI was
that.
much better.
I'm going
Yeah.
to Nintendo hell for that statement.
I-
But yes, it's
Yeah,
I
true.
think
you
the
are.
one. I think the infamous elevator scene in the Mario movie was funnier than this entire Conehead movie.
way more
Okay,
classic.
let's
way
be
more
real
iconic.
here. Name one scene that you actually cracked up on in this movie.
No, I can't. I didn't.
I didn't laugh at all. I didn't even smirk. I didn't even smile.
I think like the scene when he was getting his teeth done was like a moment, but like that was it. That was really it.
Yeah, because what's his name was in that. It was in that
John
in that
Lovitz.
scene. Fucking
John
oh my
Lovitz.
God.
John Lovitz.
Yeah, John Lovitz. Yeah, that was the only
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was no other reason to laugh because he looks at him like, whoa.
Yeah, he always has like the
John
funniest
Lovett's
faces.
face.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess David Spade was a little funny as the weasel kiss ass.
Yeah, yeah. My uncle David Spade. Yeah, he plays that weasel
Oh.
character so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a much more clever and funnier joke than anything in Coneheads.
I guess-
so I give you
I guess
credit, Spade.
I guess I
Yeah.
cracked
Uncle
up
Dave
when
is great.
I guess I
I
cracked
still
up
feel
when
like
he
he wears a toupee, but
was
that's the rumor.
I guess when he uses his enhanced powers to have advantages over regular people, like some of that stuff was funny, maybe.
Mm.
Even
Yeah.
I feel like it was just there to drive the plot, you know, like oh, like I'm not going to allow this to happen, and I don't know.
The
anyway, go ahead, pancakes.
One fun fact: when their daughter is born, the little girl that plays the baby that's born to them is Dan Aykroyd's real life daughter that they used for the scene when
That's
Jane
nice.
Curtin's character gave birth.
That is just really nice.
Yeah.
one wholesome thing about the movie.
All right, it gets 1 point for wholesomeness.
Look, I've never seen it, and I do not want to see it. But they also made an animated movie back in
No,
1983.
No way.
No.
of
No.
Coneheads?
We're not
Yes, I
covering
don't
it.
want to see it, but I feel like maybe animation would have been better for this.
Maybe.
Probably.
I don't know. It's really it's this was made to be an SNL skit. It was made to be like
And
a
left at
10-minute or less skit, and like have it be on a set with an audience to laugh at the jokes. This wasn't meant to be a movie. This wasn't. I don't think it would have been meant to be a TV show or an animation. It's just it's an SNL skit that should have never left SNL. Basically,
So is it safe to say to everyone that they should not watch this movie at all?
it didn't stand
Don't
the
do it.
test of time back then. It didn't stand the test of time now. 30
No.
years later doesn't make a difference.
Nope.
You
Yeah.
you can
yeah.
you can go about your life not watching this movie. It's okay.
Yeah. And you're not missing out on anything.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Yep. So listen, those are our thoughts. Let us know what you guys think. And if you think that we're wrong, you're wrong because this movie was horrible.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that said, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we are out. Roll credits.
Roll credits.